This removes the loot box mentality, but they made it a 4-hour shield now. So now that's a long time. That's enough time to have a vacation. These devs are listening to us. They're making the changes that we're asking for. Hey guys, the devs just came out with an awesome new update. And so I'm going to show you the 10 reasons why this update is amazing, why they really, yeah, it's just amazing. The first one, the one I've already been toting in the live stream, and everyone needs to know, is that the devs have finally made Frostborn classes up to free-to-play standards. Okay, so what I have a scientific formula for free-to-play that kind of that correlates with the general feel of people of what makes a game feel good for free-to-play, and that is that grinding, maybe an hour a day, maybe 2 hours a day, they can achieve something within 3 months. And that is now possible. You can get any class in the game, except for the Archmage. You can get any class in the game for like, really easily. So you can see here all the classes. Basically, they are all separate now. So, I have them all maxed out, so it's going to be a little bit hard for you guys to see it. But on your account, when the update comes out, you're going to see, Illusionist 1, and it's going to tell you how to upgrade it. And you do not have to upgrade the Ice Mage or the Fire Mage to get to the Illusionist. So if you want the Illusionist, you can now just get the Illusionist. You don't have to grind for something you don't want to get what you do want. It is an amazing change. It makes some classes 3 times easier to get. And so classes like the Assassin is now 3 times easier to get. It's a really good class. It's my favorite solo PvP class. The Sharpshooter's a lot easier. The Hunter, which a lot of people argue is one of maybe the best solo PvP class in the game, is now way easier to get. So honestly, this is by itself makes this update one of the best updates we've ever seen. The second reason this update is amazing is actually still has to do with these classes, and that is because classes are, separated. We're going to start seeing more people be more different classes. Okay, people are going to now, instead of, I want to be a warrior, I want to be a mage, or I want to be a rogue, they're going to say, what of these classes really jives with me? Or if they already have something, they say, what class really do I see myself being good at? So someone might say, when they see the sorcerer and they say, man, the ability to put down a circle and just really eliminate the other team's effectiveness and then buffing my team by 40%, that's my play style. And so they're going to choose the sorcerer. Whereas in the past, a lot of people would be like, I'm going to be a support class, and they'd get up to healer 3 and they'd say, wow, that took so much energy and life and grinding and money that I'm done. And they'd just be the healer, and they're happy with being the healer. They never even try to get to the sorcerer. But now people are not going to do that. They're going to say, what is my play style? And the sorcerer is a really good class now, but we see almost no one doing it. The shaman too. It's got all the numbers are for it to be a great class. And so someone now is going to look at the shaman and say, I think I would be good at that. And they're going to go for it. Or they'll get to level 1 and they'll say, yeah, this is my class. So this is such a good change. So what that's going to do is that's going to create more diversity in teams. Right now, there are almost no teams in Frostborn that have a sorcerer combination, a sorcerer in their team composition. Even though the numbers look good, no one's doing it, and it's not because it's not good. At least we haven't. I mean, it was okay in the first one, just the healer was so much better. Now it's twice as good. I think that the sorcerer is going to be amazing for a team, but no one has grinded for it. And so I think we're going to see more diversity in our team compositions. We're going to see people that say, hey, I want to try this combination, and they go for it. I'm a sorcerer. And so that's going to make team PvP way more dynamic, okay? That's going to make team PvP such a dream, really. It's going to make it a dream to work with. So I'm really excited about that. One combination that I am particularly excited about people trying, if people go for the Thrasher, which is a good solo PvP class. There'll be a lot of thrashers out there. And so anytime there's a good solo PvP class, people are going to want to try it in the team. And I really think an Archmage and having that invisibility in combination with a Hunter or a Pathfinder and a Sorcerer, all of that combined to be able to go invisible. And then, for them to just, the Sorcerer to give that extra damage and just try to melt that team really quickly. I think that there's definitely something there. Maybe a Fire Mage instead of the Pathfinder. Basically, you're just trying to do as much damage as possible, and you've got that element of surprise. But we'll see. I mean, we don't know what the team compositions are. We don't know what the different what the Frostborn community is going to do with this, but we do know that they have made it a lot easier to see more diversity. The Berserk kind of sucks in team PvP, so it makes sense that the tank moved up to Protector, but in all of the other classes, the support class, they just did the first one, and no one even tried the other ones. In the Archer class, most people were just like, the Pathfinder. I mean, the Pathfinder is legitimately probably the best team PvP class. It just does the most damage. It has team dynamics, but people wouldn't do it. People would go up to Assassin because it was so much better in PvP than the Rogue and what the Bandit used to be. But now we're going to see a lot more diversity in our team PvP. We're also going to see, this is the third reason, we're going to see more dynamic personalities in solo PvP. But I'm not just saying you're going to see more classes, okay? Because that's going to happen and that's amazing, but that's not what I'm really excited about. What I'm really excited about is that there's going to be people out there and you say, hey, what classes are you? And instead of saying, I'm a support character or I'm a mage or whatever that they say now, they're going to say, I'm an assassin Pathfinder. Assassin's my solo class, Pathfinder is my team class, or I'm a Thrasher Archmage, or I'm a rogue sorcerer. Like there is infinite combinations of what people can do now, and you're not locked into I'm a mage or I'm a warrior. You're now able to really focus on one class, get that class, and then say, okay, that took me 3 months. Now what is the next class? I'm going to start grinding for that class. And then you start grinding for that class. It's going to create a lot of more diversity in PvP. So that's the first three. They made everything more free to play, which is the biggest thing. It's going to add more team diversity, and it's going to add more solo individual diversity among a player.
Dad.
The fourth thing that they added to the game that is just an absolute game changer, really helps the game a lot, is they removed the loot box mentality of the game. So now when you combine two animals, you can decide, I want to do this, and then you can click here, I want this skill, but I don't want the other two skills, or I want this skill, and I don't want the other two skills. And then when you rank it, I'm actually gonna, this is sad, I need to do a test for you guys. Basically, I selected the wolf, and my wonder is, am I locked into a wolf now, and a wolf or a bear, or is it gonna be a horse? So if I get a horse, I'm gonna be really sad, but at least oh, no, it has to be a wolf. Okay, so you can see here, it's gonna be a wolf, but it definitely has this skill, the combat staff, but it's gonna have two other random skills. So I'm actually, wow, that is so awesome. Yeah, that's amazing, because now if you get a bear, you can, but even a wolf has really awesome skills. So this removes the loot box mentality. The loot box mentality is, there's an infinite amount that I've got to do until I get those perfect skills that I want. And so now that you can say, no, I want to lock in that skill. No, I want to lock in that skill. You can eventually get the perfect thing. It's still, the amounts are still pay to win. They're not quite there yet, but this is a big change in the right direction. So also it does make it to where, because you're able to really focus on the skills, the wolf was already theoretically the best, or just as good as the bear, or almost as good. as the bear, because basically if you're looking at skills, you've got the damage skills, which is, those 5 skills there, and then you've got the different, locations, tombs. You got damage resistance, which honestly you don't really want damage in the tombs and stuff. You want your weapon; those are the best. But then the resistances in tombs or locations are good, and then these other ones, in my opinion, are not really that good. And so, but you've got these. You got these 2 that are one of the best, and then you got these 5 that are the best, and then you got all of these, which are some of the best. The Quick Legs and Guardian are the best, okay? And the bear does have some cool ones. The bonus armor is cool. The leap is cool. Those are good. But ultimately, Guardian and Quick Legs are the best. And so it doesn't make it that big of a difference. And you can see here, we're going to go to my wolf. You can see that the speed is 51 on my wolf, which I'm pretty sure that's just as fast as the bear. Maybe the bear's 52. So they really did close the gap. And a wolf is attainable by free-to-play players, whereas the bear, you're going to be so lucky if you get a bear. So that's the 5th awesome change, is that the wolf now, because you can select skills, really it allows free-to-play players to compete with pay-to-win players, because you just focus on getting a wolf, you focus on getting to level 4, you focus on getting the skills you want, and you can compete with someone that has a bear, no problem. The next thing that they changed that makes just this update so awesome is the Odin's buff, which you actually can't use your own campfire for this, and I love this. Basically, what they did here is they made it to where there's this awesome buff of 15% bonus in Sanctums, which is awesome. Thank you, Des. It's going to make, like, the rogue with a fire dagger is going to do so much extra damage, but they made you have to do it in the popular district. And what that's going to create, and this is so good because the devs needed to do more of this type of stuff that's getting us to go to the popular district to be active, is now you're going to see people. This is on the beta server, and I'm already seeing people. It's going to be a lot more life in the actual game, and this is how you make friends. You say, oh man, I can't believe this person's here, and you talk to them and you start making friends on your server, and the more friends we have on the server, the better it is. Wait, what is Odin's Might? I thought it was called something else, but okay, whatever. Odin's Might. Okay, so that's one of them. There's also 3 other buffs, okay? And so someone just sent me this picture. It says 2 new potions, but it's actually 3. There's the Elixir of Survival, which gives you 4 armor and 20% extra healing. This is going to be huge for tanks because your healer can heal you and get, a level 3 healer instead of 200 healing will give you 240 healing. It's going to be really awesome for a protector to have that. And then just in general, it's kind of a cool buff, and it lasts for an hour. Just like the Odin's Might lasts for an hour. Then there's the Hunter's Elixir, which gives you 10% extra damage and 5 extra armor. So that's just the base. You're just a better fighter in general. And again, it lasts an hour, so that's a really good buff. And then the last potion is the Warrior's Potion, which gives you 10% extra damage and 10% extra movement speed. And so these buffs are awesome, all 4 of them, because you've got, Odin's Might as well. All of these 1-hour buffs are awesome. The concept of a 1-hour buff is really, I think, fantastic for Frostborn, because you're not like constantly getting soups and stuff. You're just like, when am I going to play for an hour? Okay, I'm going to play for an hour. I'm going to just really use this to my advantage. So it's going to be awesome for PvP. You're really going to want to have those elixirs. I really like that change in general. But the 7th reason that this update is amazing and is still about these potions, The potions are clearly designed to help balance the game. Adding more healing is just generally, makes everything more tanky, which can that's something that the game could use. But more importantly, the melee damage one gives you movement speed, which helps melee characters, which have really kind of struggled in Frostborn to stick to their ranged opponents, whereas the damage dealers are they're getting more damage and they're getting more armor, but they can't get away as well. So it's going to create more balance to the game. It's going to create more diversity in what we see people playing. Oh, and then the 8th one I already mentioned is that the Odin's buff brings more life by going to the popular district. The 6th one was just that the buffs, the 1 hour buff concept is amazing. Okay, so those are 8. The next 2, some of you guys are going to disagree with me. I'm going to try to convince you. The 9th reason I think this update is amazing is because by removing the truce, it's going to bring more life to the game. Now, some of you are like, oh man, I love the truce. I hate that, I can get raided. The truce not being able to raid made it to where people stopped raiding completely because it removed the dynamic elements of raiding. When you normally did a raid, you don't know, am I running up against someone who has to raid right now? Am I running up against someone who wants to raid? There's so much diversity in what you're going to end up interacting with, and you don't know. There's the intrigue. Is this person totally unprepared? But once the truce happened, only the people that either wanted to raid or wanted to get raided were the only people trying to raid. There was no intrigue. There was no diversity. And so now that they're adding that again, it's going to create more life in the game. It's going to bring a lot of the pro players back to the game. It's going to make getting content a lot easier for pro players that are promoting the game. But they made it a 4-hour shield now. So now that's a long time. That's enough time to have a vacation. That's enough time to really take time. And the orb now lasts 2 days. So everything is delayed a lot. That's, in my opinion, that's great. That's going to make it to where, I had to work really hard to make sure that the rating schedule on my 6 accounts was lined up perfectly on my day off, that it wouldn't run up into the day that we turn off all our technology, and that was hard. And now it's going to be really easy. I've got 4 days to work with. Literally, I can raid twice a week, the same day, each day on that week, and it's going to be perfect. So really, now you just need to pick 2 days a week. When am I going to raid those 2 days a week? And then your whole team gets on. It's going to encourage people to get back to the game, because I don't know if you've heard my wife talk, but sometimes it was the raiding, it was the desire that we had to get on and say, hey, we got to defend our base, that forced us to play. And then by forcing us to play, my wife was like, oh man, I really love this game actually. But we're not forced to play. You can kind of let it go and ignore it. So that's awesome that they added the truce. It's going to add more life to the game, but it also brings more value to the game. Having the truce, having the thing where you have to defend your base, forces us, it makes fear, and it makes it to where, oh man, I could lose my stuff, but it creates value. Oh man, I have to defend this. I have to work for this. So even if you hate the raid, even if you hate raiding, you don't want to raid, the fact that you have to be a survivalist and say, well, I got to deal with this part I hate about the game, it actually probably going to make you appreciate the game more. I know you probably hate to admit that, but that is how it works. I'm not even that big into raiding. I mean, I do it for content, but like I don't. Like my 6 accounts, I pretty much never raid unless I raid for content. It's not my natural disposition. But the raiding makes you feel that survival mentality that is so sweet about Frostborn. So if you're worried about the truce being removed and like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose all my stuff, my base isn't ready, you should have, the update isn't even out yet. Make sure to start preparing now. Hopefully the devs will give us a shield. I told them, please make sure we start out with shields. So hopefully you'll have quite a bit of time to prepare. Go watch this video. Never lose it. Hopefully the team will put it in the cards right there. This video will show you how to always win a base defense 100% of the time. Never, ever, ever lose, okay? It is guaranteed flawless base defense. Follow those tips. You don't have to lose your stuff. I think that you should focus mostly on the the first elements of protecting your base and not the one that's kind of the fail-safe, because in reality that's what's going to make the game fun, is if you can truly defend your base. But do that. Go watch my last pay to win episode where I raid that guy's base and he does such a good job of defending his base. I think it's pay to win. It says I spent 126,000 coins or something like that. Go watch that video. That guy does a great job of defending his base. Learn how to defend your base. It's going to make the game so much more fun for you, okay? So those are the 10 reasons why this update is amazing, and why I think a lot of people should come back to Frostborn, people that are worried about it. I think PvP is going to get better, and Jotunheim is just around the corner. It is the next update. They've been teasing it. They've been working on it, and we'll see what they have. But these devs are listening to us. They're making the changes that we're asking for. They're really caring about this game having life, being fun for new players and advanced players, and I love working with them. The fact that they are listening to their players means that this game is going to go far. All right, guys. I'll see you next time.